All right, everybody, thank you for coming back for another episode of the Top Corner Football Podcast. I'm your co-host, Julian. Across from me is Jordan. And actually, we got some breaking news right before we hit record on the show. So why don't you break down what just happened for the Ballon d'Or, Jordan?
Oh, Ballon d'Or. Crazy. Lionel Messi won his 8th Ballon d'Or.
8 is pretty insane. But
yeah, the gap to close is the gap. There will be another generational player to come over to close that gap, because it's like 8. It means you will have to win 8. It means you will have to be perfect.
It's not happen,
even perfect. It's you have to be at the top for 8 years.
I just don't think it's going to be possible.
Not even 8 years, but every single year that you will be considered, you will have to be at the absolutely best.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be in our lifetime.
No,
and if it is, it's not gonna be in this era. Probably in the next 10 or 20 years. But that's like that's.
You think like if MAUL gets started right now, like if he gets started next season and wins one next season, then and he's got a chance to.
Yeah, probably. But also you have to consider, unless there's not another player, because like for Messi, even though all his career there was someone like Ronaldo. Yeah, unless there's not, but I don't know, man. I will really be happy to be alive to see if there's a player,
if it's broken.
Yeah,
but the reason that they both, I think, especially Ronaldo, because of his mentality, the reason that he won so much is because someone like Messi pushed him to do that.
Yeah,
because he's always looking for something to motivate him, and another player in your stratosphere is going to do that for you, whereas I think that Messi was going to do it regardless. But and we will, let's go ahead and just get into it really quick. I think I'm not a big fan of that outcome. I love Lionel Messi, obviously. Finally winning the World Cup was like the most poetic thing that could have happened for him in particular. But you said it very well, so I'm going to steal it from you, but at least I'm giving you the credit for it. You don't win the Ballon d'Or for showing up for 1 month, because he played. It was not a good season for him overall. Yeah, it was a good World Cup for him. But Erling Haaland breaking the records in his debut in the toughest league, winning the treble. Like, to me, that was a better performance throughout the calendar year. But I get that they understand that this is probably Messi's last serious nomination anyway. Yeah, so they wanted to give it to him, but he was already so much, because I think Ronaldo has 5. Yeah. 5 to 7, he was already ahead, but 5 to 8, it's not that they were like both tied, and this was going to be the one thing that set him above to be the very best. He's already got the most anyway, and no one was going to beat 7, let alone 8. So maybe they just wanted to have a really intimidating number to look at for like young players to motivate themselves for. But I do think that Erling Haaland deserved the win overall, just that entire year's performance, the treble overall, and breaking those records in the best league in the world by quite a bit is impressive, and more to me than finally winning the World Cup.
I think for me, I think that Messi has been in the likeness of every single football pundit, every single football journalist, even at FIFA. I think people like him better. And there's also the feel of being I want to say attached to him in a sense, because even before the nomination, if you had put on any single show or debate, most of them were inclined on Messi. And I tell you what, the real argument or the only argument they had was he showed up for the World Cup. He won the World Cup for the country.
Yeah. It wasn't anything also, he did at PSG, nothing.
No, and also there was also this thing, because everybody wanted him to win the World Cup, as he's done so much for the sport, for the football, for himself.
And you can want that. That's totally fine.
Yeah, he knew. Everybody knew that was going to be the last World Cup. We want the story. We like it. Human beings, we just like it. That's like a fairy tale story. But and I know the argument, well, the World Cup is the biggest competition. Well, the World Cup is also a month. Yeah. So if it's based on individual player playing a whole season, I'm sorry, but that shouldn't have been the outcome.
Definitely.
Erling Haaland would have won it, because if you take the stats on Haaland and you give it to someone like let's say Ronaldo was Ronaldo at Erling Haaland's place, it would have been a competition for Messi. in this year, because I think it also goes back to who has more notoriety in terms of being a player, who has more superstar feel, because most of these guys, they had already it was already Messi for them. There was no argument. And if they looked at the stats, if it's based on individual statistics in a whole single year, then the Alan should have won it.
Yeah, it's funny. it ends up being more like the Academy Awards.
Yeah,
for soccer, it's more about the.
What about who you like?
It's who you like. It's who's the most popular. But it's funny because they're called the Ballon d'Or, whereas the Palme d'Or, the Cannes festival main prize, is actually, in theory, steered toward the best quality film. But it's this was definitely more of a popularity contest. And you said it yourself. It's a storyline.
It's a storyline,
and we like that. And we've always written stories to tell each other, oral tales. But then we go so far as to find narrative stories, like narrative tales, in athletic contests, as opposed to it just being the story is the game itself. Especially in like baseball, they'll say, well, so and so has been batting at this, and they need this to do this, and if this guy does this, and this happens. It's like it's just like a fucking comic book. At the end of the day, it's a baseball game.
Validation point. As soon as you hit that, you forget about. It's like when Argentina won the World Cup, I knew he was going to be the Ballon d'Or. Not because of his crazy stat, no, because of the fact that he won the Ballon, he won the World Cup.
Yeah.
And okay, if the World Cup is the biggest competition in the world of football, if the award is supposed to be given in a single best individual performance of a season, that means a whole year. It means you got to show in every single day, week in, week out. Then the award becomes questionable.
Which he was not doing at PSG, but to be fair, no one was doing it at PSG at the time. So,
I think I read somewhere that Zidane he don't believe in the award anymore since Ronaldo lost in 2018. I have a couple of people in my family, especially my dad. He kind of don't believe in the award since 2005-6 when Cannavaro won the Ballon d'Or, because he was the best defender in the World Cup. So now I can kind of see it. For a long time I was like, I'm gonna believe in this thing, but I'm gonna believe in this thing. But they're stretching it for me.
It's kind of like Santa Claus now. It's like I want to believe in this thing.
Yeah.
It benefits me to believe, but at the end of the day.
But we all knew that was gonna be the outcome. But I'm happy for him. It's gonna be difficult to beat that though.
I am too, for sure.
I am really interested to see who in this lifetime will even get close to 5, because the 3 was the max. So let's get to some sort of Kevin De Bruyne is facing some difficulties, not in the sense that I think rumors they want to trade him, at least sell him, and that's also because of injury and the fact that his market value is going down. Would you want to have Kevin De Bruyne in your team anymore at that age? Although he's still productive.
He's 30. He's 31, 32.
Yeah, but
he just seems injury prone.
And you have someone like Pep Guardiola. He's more looking in the future. How will this thing be sustainable in the next 2-3 years? So if Pep Guardiola is not, that's one thing I cannot. Pep Guardiola is really an interesting manager in the sense that he doesn't hold particular feelings in terms of attachment to a player. As soon as you're not good for the system, he's gonna cut you out as fast as possible.
And it's nothing personal either. He doesn't make it a big deal.
It's like if there was like some sort of business, or he will really be a great businessman. Just because he doesn't have this emotion of because I like the player so much. I like you, but you know what? You don't work for the system, you're out. So what will and I think if Kevin De Bruyne is out of City, I think there's just 2 options. Or he goes to another league, potentially Saudi. I heard Cristiano Ronaldo contacted him. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, but he's like, but
he will retire.
Ronaldo's pissing me off with the Saudi stuff, because he's kind of like the guy that stands outside of a car wash with the sign. And he's like spinning the sign around and shit.
But that's what they brought him for.
I know.
They brought him to advertise the league. And look at what the league is doing. I heard they made a lot of money this year. And even the French league couldn't, because they can't even sell the rights to any TV to broadcast anymore.
Right. It's just he's sitting. He's the car wash guy with the spinny sign, but with a better haircut, and like makes really good money like promoting the car wash.
Yeah,
but it's annoying.
What do you see KDB going at?
What about this? Think about this. Because there's a certain team that is about to lose some experience.
Yeah.
And they need some experience, but they don't need someone that's experienced is going to play week in, week out, full 90 minutes. Could he be, and it's a 2-for-1 kind of a deal, when Kroos and Modric leave, could he come in and sort of be that super sub role, or someone that maybe gets subbed off in 50 minutes, doesn't have to play every single game, but is someone that does have good link-up play for these younger players? I could see Real Madrid wanting to experiment with him for a couple of years because he still is young.
Yeah.
And if they take care of him and don't burn him into the ground, because also we need to talk about how much Kevin De Bruyne was playing to get these injuries. Like, he was playing all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas if he comes in to relieve a Tchouaméni, a Camavinga, a Valverde, or is on first and tag teaming with them and letting them do most of the footwork and him just lacing passes through, I could see that working, and they could get him at a lower value than was possible a couple of years ago. And if they play him in the right way, they can maintain health. And all the things that he does well, that's the thing. And that's why they were burning him into the ground, and I didn't understand it. What was it, 2 seasons ago? They almost had him down the wing.
Yeah.
Like, he was like a left-winged midfielder hybrid kind of a deal, running his ass off. And I'm thinking, well, first off, he's not slow, but he's not pacey.
Yeah.
He is already injury prone. Why do you have him in this like super physical role? That's not what he's there for. So I could see them definitely trying to like getting a couple of more years out of him than you would think, in a system that just allows him to sit back and kind of play quarterback.
Yeah.
And just lace those balls through. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I just,
because they need someone with experience like him. Because when Modric and Kroos leave, because they're leaving sooner rather than later.
I think with the team they have, I think they will be looking to have a much more younger player.
Yeah, but they do need someone with experience though, because a lot of these guys are in their early 20s, and they've shown they do benefit from a Kroos and a Modric being able to slow the game down and kind of dictate what everybody does. They've shown that they can get kind of scrambled when it's not going according to plan, and they're all super young.
Yeah. The only
energetic.
question will be, why would you have a KDB, although you need someone like him, when you have Modric and Kroos that could be potentially passing the torch to another young player that has potential, especially the team is that young. Yeah, and you see Real Madrid, I don't know what's the plan, but I can see them trying to build a really competitive team that's going to win the Champions League, that's going to win the league, and what, because most of them are young. They just need some pieces to complete what they're trying to build, which they need the midfield, and they need either left wing. Actually, they need 3 pieces: a left wing, a defender, and that one guy. But I think Tchouaméni is the guy to fill the role. That's why they're building this. The reason why Tchouaméni is a lot in rotation and Camavinga is just because they don't have a good back.
Do you think that any of the midfielders currently right now, maybe excluding Valverde, but he's still not as good in that way, they don't have anyone that has that capacity for long or threaded passes that Kroos and Modric have, though? Because this is probably Modric's last season at that level. And I'd say you have one more with Kroos. I think if you play Kevin De Bruyne, if he gets the same amount of minutes that Kroos and Modric especially this season has gotten, he can play this way for 3 more years. Yeah. So you have 3 more years letting Tchouaméni, letting Camavinga, letting Valverde, letting Bellingham get that ability, because I don't think any of them have that midfielder like absolute playmaker, threaded passes.
Yeah, it just depends though, because if you have a left wing and you have a defender, then you're left with Tchouaméni and Camavinga. Then in that sense, Valverde could be then you have like Kroos, who's gonna play Kroos is all. It means then you can play Camavinga there, or Camavinga can be come back on the defensive side and Tchouaméni, because they have a lot of midfielders. They just need, because I'm thinking in the event that they fill that spot and you have KDB, then KDB is gonna be forced to sit down. And I don't know if that's a situation he will want. So.
See, well, and see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying that he wouldn't be the secondary person in that squad, but so are Kroos and Modric.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. No one in the Madrid squad right now can do what Kroos and Modric do. KDB can do that, and he is younger than both of them as well.
Yeah,
he has 3 to 4 more years, like I said, if they play him the same amount of time, same amount of minutes, in the less physical role that they have Kroos and Modric in. They do need someone like that because you see how much they need Kroos when he's in there. He still has a lot to offer in set pieces, which Kevin De Bruyne excels at as well. Who's going to be the big set piece taker? Kroos is the guy.
Yeah,
KD, they need someone in there as well.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like there is room for him in that squad.
There's definitely
when those two guys
but
leave.
I'm not sure they're gonna get it because if
Kroos, I'm just thinking it makes sense.
Yeah, if Kroos and Modric leave, they definitely going for a younger player. Because that's the same thing that's gonna happen with City, and that's why probably they're thinking of cutting him off because he's already at that age. Instead of having 2-3 years, we can build someone and can give for 6 years at best.
But that City squad is more mature anyway, though. Silva, Rodri.
Yeah, but KDB. They still need someone to fill KDB's position, and I think
no. So what I mean is, on average, City is an older squad than Madrid.
Yeah.
So when they bring someone in, they need to bring in someone new. Yeah. Real Madrid's already very young. They do need to bring someone in with experience.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they need to bring in a 35-year-old, right? Yeah. But I mean, you say if the average squad age is 22, 23, and you want someone with experience, you say, well, you need someone like 27, 28. At this point, KDB is the only one in that age group that can do what those other guys did. So it's like maybe you do go a tiny bit older. Maybe you do have a shorter contract. Maybe he's not a guy that's going to stay as long as you intended, but he does do those roles the best of anyone else that you can see. So instead of having someone around for 4 years, maybe do have him around for 3.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like I'm not saying it would happen. I'm saying like I can see where once those two guys go, they need someone that's more experienced, more mature, that does have that passing ability that no one else in that squad seems to have yet. I can see Valverde having it in 2 years, 3 years, by the time that Kevin De Bruyne would leave, also, which would be perfect timing.
Well, and we have City wants 50 million for Calvin Phillips.
So do I.
That's a strong word.
Yeah. I've got a Honda Civic. Okay, I've got a 2011 Honda Civic. The asking price goes for I'm going to say 80,000 right now. Someone can take it. It's got no headrest.
Yeah.
It's got the console smashed, but I want to make a profit on this thing. So 80,000 for my 2011 Honda Civic. No, it doesn't work that way. They're going to take a loss on him.
Yeah.
They just need to go ahead and get used to that, accept that. Minimizing the loss is key, obviously, but expecting to profit is ridiculous.
Yes, definitely. So with Musiala, Madrid and City both want him, but I don't know if it's for Madrid. There's
no room for that.
It's still a difficult situation because I tell you what, I kid you not, Tchouaméni and Camavinga, it's a lot of potential, and they still haven't even tapped into their real potential.
But you know that Madrid's interested in letting Tchouaméni go.
I don't think they will let him go.
I don't think they will either, but it's been kind of softly known for a while that they are interested. You know who's interested in picking him up? Arsenal was. That'd be interesting.
I mean, that would still help him, but
absolutely.
that would still help them, but that would make a deadly team. But unless they let him go one of them, then that one, because they cannot let go Camavinga just because of how versatile he is.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, they will not let him go because they still have a lot of holes to fill.
Yep.
And then if they let go Tchouaméni, you can get Musiala. That there's no problem. Who's interested again? City. Then that will really be good for City.
Yeah,
because they still need that little.
Him in Madrid doesn't make any sense though. Really fast, to me at least, because he's more of an attacking midfielder, which that's what Jude Bellingham's doing.
Yeah,
and if you let someone like Tchouaméni go, it's not a 1-for-1. Like you need a defensive guy. I mean, he's not the worst on defense. He has energy. He does track back. He works hard, but he's really, honestly, if you brought him in, he's in the role that Bellingham's currently in.
Yeah. So
and he's one of the few guys that's playing better than Musiala in that attacking, creative midfielder role.
And it's crazy. So since Bellingham have tasted what it's been, it is to be an attacking midfielder, and he is the sensation right now. You can't bring Musiala to say, "Hey, I'm gonna try it," unless you wanna play some sort of or 3 midfielder. kind of two attacking, or one as a purely transitional.
Yeah.
So someone that can help transition from defense to the attack, that would be Musiala.
Or are they doing something where they're... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, but that would be still really, really difficult because...
Are they theorizing what would happen if, let's say, Kylian Mbappe doesn't sign with them, that maybe they bring him in as a false 9 to have some sort of ability?
Maybe that will help, because for me, the way I see Madrid right now, Rodrigo's got to go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. So maybe Musiala comes in on the right wing, despite him being a right-footed player.
Yeah.
Maybe he does come in to replace Benzema, and now Joselu, who is not he's not really cut out for longevity in that role. But I could see it'd be an interesting way to look at it, of Bellingham playing that attacking midfielder role and feeding the ball to a Musiala that's more than willing to come back and alternate roles with Bellingham, giving more attacking opportunities to whoever's more available.
Yeah.
I could see that working. It sounds a little convoluted and busy.
Mm-hmm.
It seems more like a backup plan than something that's guaranteed or actively trying to be approached. But that'd be interesting. But he could definitely fit in at City, I think, better than he would fit in at Madrid.
Well, in England, we had Arsenal having to beat down Sheffield United.
They rough stuff, wasn't it?
They beat them down like Sheffield United stole something from them. So yeah. Kedia, what about Kedia's form? I wish he could maintain this form, because if Kedia could maintain this form, Arsenal would be really, really deadly.
Yeah.
To anyone that's going against them. I mean, even in the league, I would have seen them being at least the contender, or at least winning that league title.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the game? I like the Declan Rice. I like that he had an assist, and I just like when he plays very well in that middle, and just rotating and trying to create spaces and passes.
Yeah. It's one of those performances that, very, very clinical, very tight passing, a lot of chances, with enough of them being completed to really be convincing against any side in Europe. Because it was 5-0, but they were still 4 or 5 other chances that could have gone in, and on another day might have gone in. So it's not that it was just beating up on a bad team, because it's a Premier League team. They're not a bad team, but the separation of quality is very clear. I tend to be a little less joyous when teams play this well against sides that are at the bottom of the table.
Yeah,
because it's exactly what's expected and exactly what should be delivered. Like, as much as you want to think, like, it was a beatdown, yes, but
that's supposed to happen.
They did what they needed to do. They completed all their chances. They did their homework. Like, you don't get an extra grade bump because you completed the assignment on time. I will say one thing that was kind of a bummer looking at the scoreline.
Yeah.
If there was a game for Kai Havertz to score in outward play, this was the one.
Yeah.
This was the one. Everyone was getting an opportunity. And I will say, he didn't have a lot of opportunity on net. That was not his role that he was playing. You can tell.
Yeah.
In the role that he was playing, he did play well. He was making convincing runs to pull players to create space for other guys, and he was laying off nice passes for forward momentum. He is looking more of a forward player now, not just trying to dump the ball after the quickest person to get away from the ball. He is changing his play style, but he was not as attacking minded, but he was still forward progressive in his style of play. But yeah, I mean, it was a good performance overall, man. And Kedia really, seriously, like, if you can continue to show that, Jesus is out of a job.
Tomi is also very happy he had a goal.
Yeah.
It's been
weird goal
just
too.
to boost the whole squad's confidence.
And that's a good goal for confidence as well. Yeah, because that's not a goal that you're going to get too many opportunities with a bigger side. Just that wide open gap when a set piece falls through. Because if you looked at it, I think it was I forget the Sheffield player, but he tries to kill the ball down with his foot, but it bounces off his knee.
Yeah.
And then just lands literally right on top of Tomiyasu's foot. So, like, again, like I said, beautiful job closing that down. You did exactly what you needed to do. Good luck having that free space to do that again against a top 6 side. That's kind of what the entire performance was. Like I said, like nothing to get too excited about, but they played very cleanly.
Yeah,
they didn't squander any chances. The ones that they missed, they can make up for with other ones. So like it didn't feel like they were really like overworking for underperformance. It was exactly what it needed to be.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. On the other side, United, we had a derby. We had a Manchester derby, United versus City. What did you think of City? And I want to say this: Manchester United is in a tough spot right now. It's like Wenger. He had an interview this week, and he was saying that the spirit is dead. And when I read that and I was looking back at the game, it looks like you have soulless players playing. So they're just existing on the field, but there's nothing happening. That's how I feel. And although I would say City, this wasn't the best City performance, especially when you look at the first half time. Although they were circulating the ball, but it wasn't the best City performance because they would have won. They would have. Man, it would have ended in like 6 of 8, but at least they still won. And Manchester held on for a little bit or a little while, but that penalty wasn't a penalty for me.
I agree.
Yeah, because like we the whole reason and the advancement of technology in football is to be more accurate and more precise, and you have VAR. But if you're going to try to flag that as a penalty, then the next weekend when there's a game, be it Arsenal versus somebody else or Brighton, and that type of action happen, and you don't give that as a penalty, there's so much inconsistency. So
every single time that somebody falls down on a set piece in the box, it's a penalty.
It's a penalty. It has to be. So
no, I agree.
No. So we have to figure that one out. If that's a penalty of that, or if that's not a penalty, because you have games that will not give that as a penalty, and you have games that will give it. So what's the deal here? And United City was really poor on United, very, very. Do you think Ten Hag will be gone in January?
I do. And when you watch him, when you watch them play, you said that they felt soulless.
Yeah,
I can ask you a better question. What are their tactics?
What
are they doing?
That's true.
Not even what they players. What are you doing? What are you as a manager telling them to do? I don't see anything.
There's no philosophy.
No.
There's no culture. There's no play style. There's nothing. There's just players on the field
trying to link up.
They do whatever.
I don't even want to say they're trying to link up passes because I'm not even certain that they are that dead set on it. Yeah, I think that he's gone before January. I think that someone like a Hansi Flick, Antonio Conte is still free.
Yeah,
they're more than able to take on that task and really make something work. Who do you think is available for them?
So this is my take and a popular opinion. Manchester United, although they have a history, but they're forgetting one thing, and they still probably the administration, the managers or whatever, they still thinking this is United with the huge historical background. This is United of the past. No, United said that United is past. This United has no history, has nothing to look for. They need to rebuild. But the question becomes, if I bring in a new coach, is he gonna try to sell all this player or rebuild? What is gonna be the deal? And the question will be, do we have that money? Because all these players cost a lot, and if you're selling most of them, you're selling at a loss because the market value has gone down. I think they should bring in someone that's not a big coach. If you bring in a big coach, I would say probably get back Mourinho. The reason why I say it is because he is the only one who had the best season with United since
Alex Ferguson. I agree.
That being said, bringing someone that like De Zerbi, if you want to rebuild, it means you're gonna have to.
He's not taking that job though, because he knows that there's a better job opening somewhere
else.
That's
true. Well, I'm just saying, like someone like him, if you're gonna resell all this player and try to build, it means you're taking younger player with potentially no name that can help rebuild the team. It means you're selling most of these guys, because one thing, and Ten Hag said it. There's no way we can play Ajax style of football, the style of football he's, of course, and another trainer could not implement his style of football or even like the new kind of positional play with these players, because they're already too old to learn to adapt to that style of football, or even to take straight instructions.
And a lot of those guys have spent so long in the system of not receiving instruction. Will they even know what to do with instruction once they're given it again?
So you cannot have that. It will be pretty difficult. So I think a new trainer, a new field, rebranding United as a whole, installing a philosophy of play, a style of play, what are we playing? Like, you look at Arsenal now, there's a style of play, there's a philosophy in play. Look at even Brighton, there's a philosophy, there's a style of play. You know, that's what they need to do, and forget about United of the past. Manchester United have now lost as many Premier League home games since Sir Alex Ferguson retired as they did during his entire 26 years of career. So, in essence, this is a failure.
What positions do they need? Like, so 3 positions. If they can if they can get Ten Hag out in January, what are 3 positions to be filled that would, in theory, remedy some of the issues that we're seeing?
First of all, before we get to the position, we have to get to the coach. We have to get to their mentality. We have to get to the players themselves. The one thing they first of all need is morale. So if you were to record data on all of the players, the general morale of the team is probably like a 1 on 10, because they don't play like teams that want to win. The players themselves don't have this fire in them. They don't play like a Ronaldo, you would say. You know, there's nothing. First of all, you have to get into them. You have to create. They don't even have chemistry between them. Like I said, they just exist. Now, when you get to players, Rashford is a great player, but I feel like he's wasting his potential there. But at the same time, I feel like he needs to. They need, to be honest, they need all this team gone.
I agree.
They need to just replace everyone, and with the few of like Haaland, which is still young. I thought having a defensive midfielder will help in transition, but looking at what they did this weekend, that's not the problem. I think the biggest problem, to be honest, is just the management, and the players are not even that big of a deal. But I will probably get this is really difficult. Eriksen out.
So I basically thought they need a new center back. They really need 2 if you think about it. And you said Eriksen out. They need another number 8 that can dictate the play and really have a lot of passing options available, so that Fernandes can run forward and be a bit more attacking, but he doesn't have anyone to rely on to be able to do that. They don't have the pace. So I'd say a solid box number 8, 1 or 2 center backs, and then they need another right winger. Because right now they had Fernandes on that right, like he was a right midfield, but if you look at it, the way that they were trying to press, if they were being offensive, he's more of like a right wing kind of space, and that's not working at all. So they need someone to replace. Basically, Antony and Sancho are both in that role, that right wing role, and they're not. One doesn't play at all anymore, and the other one showed it just not. That's what
I told you. I told you last time. United is in the state where, because nothing is working, and this goes for everyone, you know, especially if you're in charge of something. When nothing is working your way, you tend to find excuses and you find a scapegoat. And I will say this might be coming with a little bias, but it's kind of the truth. Onana has never been the problem. One thing is, if you don't have a good defense, it's difficult for the goalkeeper to play. Another thing,
he played very well.
Onana has a style of play that can work well if the players are playing a Brighton kind of football. It means if you want to build from the back, none of those players know how to build from the back.
No.
That's why he's now forced to. Now you see him always clearing the ball. He wouldn't do that if he was at Ajax.
Even this past weekend with Inter Milan versus Roma. You saw Bastoni all over the place. Amazing. Like making forward runs into the midfield and up to the line, and like able to do all these things. If you have that guy in the back that you're distributing the ball to and able to fluidly move with, no wonder that you're able to use your feet more. Like they fucking need someone like Bastoni. Honestly, they're not going to get him because someone else is going to get him instead. But they need players that fit his style. He had a very good game. Despite 3-0, he made 5 or 6 very good saves. And that's one of those things, like you hold your hands up and say, I can only do so much.
Yeah, that's why I said the first need to get into your head. Morally, physically, and spiritually, they are all down. That's why that the last game when Maguire and Onana performed well, it kind of gave them a boost of morale. That's why you can see how they perform this way. Even Maguire, he wasn't bad. He played, but like I said, there's so much you can do with that team. Then going to Spain, if you had anything to add there, we go to Spain. My man, Jude Bellingham.
I thought Camavinga was your man.
Camavinga is my man. I got 2 men. I can get 2 men.
I was just about to say that you have 2 men's. That's so funny.
Yeah.
All right.
So Jude Bellingham, he just won the Copa Trophy Award. It means the best player under 21 in the planet. Jude Bellingham.
Who else? Truly, there's a list. Obviously, like there's a list of anything.
Yeah.
but who's on that list that could even come close? There's nobody. There's nobody.
But when you look at that Clásico, that was really good. Although I think Barcelona didn't have they had some players injured, but Xavi did a really, really great job at having a team that could go toe to toe with Madrid. Honestly, I think the sub of Cancelo kind of unbalanced the team, and Ancelotti putting Camavinga changed everything and
because Cancelo was good.
Yeah, Cancelo was good.
He was Gavi was good, kind of being on his own in the midfield. That first half, especially the first 25 or 30 minutes, was very competitive overall.
Yeah, I would say Gavi has a lot of future, and especially in that defensive midfield. He played so well. He was everywhere. And
it's funny though, because he usually doesn't play that defensively. He was having to play that way because Pedri was out. He's kind of that midfield player that can kind of, he's not amazing at any role, but he does every role pretty solidly.
Yeah.
He's like the younger brother of Fede Valverde. Just kind of able to do everything in that box to box space.
Well, someone like Araujo, very, very good man marking on Junior. I mean, every time Junior came his way, he pocketed him.
To be fair, every time that he did pocket him, Vinicius threw a fucking fit.
Yeah,
like a toddler.
He couldn't do anything.
That was embarrassing.
That's why you need, I say, and in games like that, you understand why Madrid still need a number 9.
Yeah,
because they will play teams like Las Palmas or and they will have this great game, and Junior Rodrigo will score, and you'll be like, oh, they probably can do without strikers. But in games like this, you understand that, because games like this, you have to maximize your conversion rate. It means every opportunity you get has to be at least a conversion.
Yep. Yeah.
But when you have Junior and Rodrigo couldn't do it, so Junior wasn't even seen.
Yeah, well, and we had agreed that Rodrigo probably needs to go.
Yeah,
he plays that right wing spot. Someone like United kind of needs that right wing spot.
Yeah,
that could be an interesting look.
That could be an
interesting. And that just kind of lined up as I was thinking about it. And yeah, I mean, this is one of those games as well. It was very competitive. This is one of my favorite games that I've watched in the past little while.
I don't know how Junior is good on the left wing, but if they get Mbappe, he could go on that wing, and Mbappe could get his own wing.
Yeah, get his own wing.
That's his wing.
Yeah, so, it is. If
you bring him Mbappe, he's definitely going to put some.
Well, and they've even got Kepa playing well. He had several good saves. This was actually a very good look at some good saves overall this whole weekend. There were some really good saves in the Manchester Derby, some really good saves in the Clásico. From keepers especially that have been known for not playing at that very top level.
I would say the first half, Barcelona really they managed the game very well until when Camavinga was in and everything kind
of. What minute did he come on again?
Camavinga, he came in the.
Because it wasn't too late.
No, it wasn't too late. He got a 52nd minute.
Yeah.
That's when he was in. For Ferland engine. That's why I said this thing need like a good left back.
Yeah.
When Camavinga comes in, that position changed, but also because Camavinga doesn't just play there because of his ability to be so versatile. He will move in sometimes in the mid defensive, allowing players to be more up front, you know. So
you watch the momentum and the ability to open spaces change as soon as he came into play.
Yeah, and Bellingham, look at this. 2 goals in just 2 shots, 92% pass, 92% pass accuracy, 73% touches, 13 passes in final third, 5 just won, 3 possession won, 2 interception, 2 shots, 2 goals.
it's honestly it looks like someone's playing FIFA on amateur mode sometimes. It's just how of course you're gonna score in the 90th minute. Like how does this keep happening?
I think some players get to that state. You know, I don't know if you probably watch something like Kuroko Basket. I don't know if you know, but it's like it's an anime about basketball, right? And they have this thing where they get in the zone, and in the zone everything is maximized. Your accuracy, your awareness, your shots, everything is maximized. And I think Bellingham kind of gets in that space where things just happen for him. And it becomes the feeling. I think he's getting into and if he sustains the way he's playing, then when he gets into his prime, that will be really he will be right in history.
Because we've said this in previous weeks. It's not even that he's doing anything crazy. He's not like
everything is following.
It's so simple. He's just exactly where he needs to be. He knows exactly what to do in a very simple way.
He's not overthinking.
No, not at all.
If you watch the second goal, I think who crossed it. I think it was it Modric? Yeah, Modric on that second goal.
Lucky touch. It was not intentional.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like this is what happened, right?
It makes it work.
I feel it did, and that's why I said his awareness on the pitch is crazy. What he does, Modric didn't cross it for him, but what he does, he follows the cross. You can watch that sequence where he follows. As soon as Modric is trying to cross, he's following it.
Yeah,
he's following because he's thinking, what if something happens?
Yep.
You know, another player won't have following because he's not a 9 technically. So he's following, and boom, that's for
it's right there for him.
That game was absolutely amazing. I love the game, and and Gavi in the next 2-3 years is someone to watch out for.
I agree.
I can see someone like even Martinez. He did a really great job. Gundogan had a good game.
Yeah. He kind of did you see his post-match interview?
I didn't have the time to fully watch it, but he said something about we need to do better or something like that.
Yeah, including himself as well, and sort of you could tell that he was sort of comparing the winning mindset and capabilities to Man City, and just that like we all need to step up and do better, including me as a veteran. Even though I just got here, I do have the experience, and like it was a very well phrased. He didn't come across as petulant or childish or complaining at all, but he did kind of tell the entire locker room in public.
Yeah.
And he's not a guy that speaks out in public very often.
Yeah.
But he basically did. He just was like, hey, we all need to play better. And I like that.
Yeah. For all the people, Bellingham was it tapping, whatnot. I mean, the first goal was just pure. He felt it. He knew he felt it. And honestly, I didn't expect that first goal. And
it was an actual rocket.
Yeah, Madrid always has this thing where they start slow because the game Gundogan wouldn't have scored that. I mean, they blame Alaba of trying to clear it, but actually, I think who did I blame it for? I think it was a defensive error. If we watch back that video, I probably can see, but I think. It wasn't Alaba's fault. It's just I think Chouamini tries to give the ball, then it doesn't get to the destination.
Wait,
when Gundogan scored.
Yes. It was a bad touch from Chouamini that gets served right back to.
Yeah. To so I think and Alaba tries to tackle, and it doesn't go its way, and it's on his weak foot.
It's an unfortunate touch from Chouamini, and I will say. It's one of those that things happen, but that has happened with Chouamini before.
Yeah,
he does not always have a great touch, and can end up kind of dispossessing himself
Yeah.
and giving the ball into a situation for something like this to happen. Not too much. Not enough to say that it's a detriment to have him on the field, but enough to where it's like, well, okay.
Yeah,
you have done that before, so it's not that surprising that it happened again, even if it's not that often.
Like I said, you drop a left back, a center back, and if they still want Mbappe as the one, you bring him, then we win in the Champions League.
We.
Yes. I'm not a big fan of teams, but sometimes I like the teams that win.
Right, when they do well.
But Casablanca, Los Blancos, Merengues, the White House. I've always supported them.
No, you haven't. In our Ronaldinho reaction, he talked about how big of a fan you were in the 2000s of them.
That's for Barcelona, yeah.
It's
but after that, it's like this is how I supported teams. Early 2000, I was a kid, so I hadn't picked the team, but I loved all the Brazilian teams. So I used to play this thing where I will have you put players on the back of a freaking paper that you do, and it's like you play with a friend, obviously.
Yeah.
You can do like the paper thing, and you put players on. I had the JUDE, Ronaldo, Robinho, Cafu, Kaká, two midfielder, Deco, and Luis Figo. So that's how I came about supporting Barcelona. As I was trying, Eto'o went to Barcelona. I was like, oh great, because I really loved Luis Figo and Deco at the time. Then after that, I was a little bit there up in the air when Eto'o went to Inter Milan. I was like, you know what? I'm supporting Inter Milan. I love Mourinho. I love Eto'o. Then when Eto'o went to Anzi Malkashkala, I was like, all right. I'm trying to pick a team. I'm struggling. City's coming up. My dad's like, he loves United. I'm like, I can go with United.
No.
Then there's all this thing. I was like, okay, there's Juventus too. But then Ronaldo shows up. And Messi was still good, but I had a beef with Barcelona. Personal beef, because when Pep took the team, man, he put Ronaldinho out. I was like, that's that. And when he put Eto'o out, I was like, yeah, that's the last score for me. I'm out.
You're out.
Then I became a Los Blancos.
You took your jersey off, you turned it inside out. It was already white. You're like, oh god.
Nah, I was Madrid fan until about 2016. I stopped supporting with all my emotions and feelings. Like there's no diehard fan in me of anything. As soon as you're not good, I'm out.
It's kind of sad.
No, it's actually beautiful.
No heart. Heartless.
It's actually beautiful because in the event where you are arguing or debating with someone, right? Like I don't feel like I have to debate hardly or defend a team.
Yeah.
So
it's always been interesting for me. Like if I am a fan of a club or a team, I don't change. Yeah. But I think that you would agree that I'm pretty objective.
Yeah.
In terms of like calling something what it is. Like if they play well, they play well. If they don't, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of be able to. There would be times when we would watch football games when I was like younger, and there'd be a flag, and my grandpa and my dad would be like, "That's not a flag," and I'd be like, yeah, it was. like straight up, like, yeah, and then they're like, "Don't say that." I was like, "Well, what?" Like, it was. Like, I'm not gonna lie. That doesn't help anybody.
Yeah, especially sometimes you get attached to a player, a person. It's like even in tennis, my guy was Roger Federer, right?
Yeah.
Federer and Nadal was really going up. Djokovic was up too. But when Federer retired, I somehow kind of picked Nadal. But Djokovic, man, he just came. This guy just every single record he became really good, arguably the best.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I'm never picking him. Then I understood when I decided not to be a diehard fan, I could see more. Okay, I was like, yeah, Djokovic, you the man. So that's just better for me. So let's get to the power rankings. What do you think?
Well, first, actually, hold on. Let's do this little experiment. Top 3 teams in order.
Yeah.
Most likely to win the Champions League. Go.
In this year,
Yes.
I'll pick City. Yeah, I'll pick City again. Probably City. No.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I was at City. I can see Real Madrid competing. But that's tough though. Milan? No, not Milan. It's Inter Milan.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they can go for it. Like I would have picked Arsenal, but man, in Champions League, Arsenal hasn't given me the fear factor yet. It's
I agree, not yet.
It's
not
like
yet. I think that they need to. It's sort of a Liverpool and Manchester City thing of like they almost need to win the Premier League first to get the rhythm to then make an actual bid for the Champions
If
League.
Liverpool was Liverpool of 2 or 3 years ago, then I would have picked them.
Yeah,
but
of course.
No.
I would say for me it would be in this order: Madrid. No, sorry. City, Madrid, Bayern.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bayern. That is.
That's gonna be good for the short. That's gonna be a funny short. I like that a lot. No, but you already said Inter, so it's done. All right, power rankings. Do you have 10 or 5? What do you have this time?
I'll probably just like try to freestyle it, I guess.
Freestyle, of course.
Go ahead first.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you my list so that you can then copy it. Okay. Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
City.
Yeah.
Bayern. Inter. Tottenham. Arsenal. Liverpool. Barcelona. Leverkusen. Leipzig.
You know, pick the Huh. Well, I'll pick Bayern Munich first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, because they
34 goals
against
combined this season already.
I know.
34 goals.
Sure,
Crazy.
but I don't know.
I'll pick them.
But then they draw 2-2 against Leipzig.
But Leipzig
That's the German league to a T.
Yeah.
8-0 against Darmstadt, and then 2-2 against Leipzig. Like there's not enough competition.
Yeah, I'll pick Leverkusen second.
They're impressive, man.
Yeah. The reason is because I'm looking at the overall since the season started. Because if you struggle 2 games, although you're the best, then position wise you still gotta move. Even if the last guy made a lot of good moves. So I'm picking Leverkusen. I want to pick City after. So third City. Fourth will be Madrid. Fifth will be Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, scoring 23 goals already, you know.
Okay. That's fine.
Stuttgart could be there, but I'll reserve them for kind of the last because Tottenham has been killing it. And I feel like we need to talk about Ange. His name
Postecoglou.
Yeah, he's doing a great job at Tottenham. And I was 6 Tottenham, 7 will be Leipzig, 8 will be Inter Milan, 9 will be Stuttgart, 4th will be I said 4th. Then no, 7 will be Barcelona actually.
This is why you write things down.
Even if I wrote them down, I would be like, I think it was like, wait a minute. Yeah,
I do that too though with lists. I'm always like, wait.
Yeah. I think the list is there.
Okay.
Yeah, the list is there. Yeah, because there was a lot of Atletico Madrid played well too. I mean, they can be considered in that list too. But if we're just looking overall and after you look at the week too, but yeah.
Girona's probably gonna not stay at number 2 though, are they?
Man, Girona has been playing some football. I'm not gonna lie.
They have, but
they're not staying at number 2. Yeah.
No.
We already know the 1 and 2 at the end of the season. I guarantee will be Madrid and Barcelona. I'm not talking about Atletico. I'm talking about Real.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting stat as well, seeing Barcelona here. We should talk about it then. They had 3 draws this season, and 2 of them were from bottom 5 teams.
Yeah.
But all of them, like so they drew to Getafe at 12, currently at 12.
How do you say it? Getafe.
And then Mallorca is 15th, and Granada's 19th.
Yeah.
So they are drawing against clubs that they do not need to be drawing against. They need to be drawing against Madrid's and Atletico Madrid's.
Well, it depends now. Even every single... It's weird. Every single big club, when they play a little club, it's either a blowout or a played
a very competitive draw. Yeah, they're like, oh my god.
Just because I think the preparation is different, because sometimes low-level clubs or bottom-limb clubs, they don't have a philosophy, so it's kind of difficult to read the plays, and anything can happen.
Because they're just going for everything they can.
So,
but I'm just saying, like, if they're going to really try to get into the top 3 and then be competitive in the league, they can't keep drawing against teams that are that low in the table.
Yeah, they're not that far though. They still have they have 24 points. Madrid, who is first, has 28. Girona 28. Girona has 1 loss. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And Atletico Madrid has 25. Atletico Madrid has 25 they have 5 wins. I don't understand how they have 25. Probably they still have 1 game to play today.
Atletico?
Yeah.
They do have 1 game. Like, they have one game
is that against Girona? Yeah. It's against Girona. I think so.
Good stuff, man. Well, let's lock this thing down.
Yeah. So, that was an interesting it was a pretty interesting show. So, I would say everybody can go follow us, follow all our links, so that TikTok, Spotify, give us 5-star review, whatnot, comment, subscribe, and send us inputs, feedback, whatever, what you want us to talk about.
And then an advice on how you like the rollouts of the episodes. Do you like full episodes out first? Do you like clips and shorts out first? Because we don't want the main episodes to be too far down the week. But also, we do understand that shorts and clips are usually more engaging the earlier that they come out. But little things like that are just like formats, what you'd enjoy. That would be great as well. And yes, he's already said it, the Spotify star review, and that's fine. And we're also going to be changing our name on TikTok so that it makes more sense for us. But
follow.
That might happen. It might not. We don't know. We'll see what happens.
Do follow. That's what I would say. And bye.
Goodbye.